But just let me know if you guys can hear me or not. Um, yeah. Let me see if I can do this a little bit so you guys can see me clearly. All right, yeah, we good. We good. We good. We are live on my life story. Doubt I'll get anybody else to see the stream. But right now, I am cooking some French fries. That's all I can eat for right now until I can find a job, earn a little bit of money for the most part. Um, I was supposed to have the interview today, but unfortunately, I'm not able to have the interview because I didn't have enough money to get to the interview. So I had to reschedule it for um so I had to reschedule it for another day. I think I might watch a movie or something after this. Not really sure what I'm gonna do. I should have got a potato. I should have got a potato instead. I can't be too loud because um everybody is asleep at this current time, or probably awake, or I don't know, probably doing other stuff. So, and it's kind of hard to kind of do a live stream when you're living with roommates, living with 8 people. But I figured since people are already up, I can just go ahead and do it and get it out of the way. Not that I don't like doing live streams, it's just I don't like people eavesdropping, you know. That's something that my landlord does. She's a really, really interesting landlord. Because there are times I talk to her, and she's always like, I heard you doing, saying this and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, when did you hear me say all of this? Because she likes to eavesdrop on people's conversations, which is kind of creepy. It's kind of weird because she's very paranoid because uh she thinks that the whole world is out there to get her, or they're just trying to plot some sort of scheme or whatever. And so she thinks that when people talk, she gotta listen in because she think that everybody that lives in her house serves as a potential threat. When e- everything is all in her head. And some of the roommates are pretty cool. I mean, I met a few of them. Some of them not so cool. Yeah, they're not as. Some of them are friendly, some of them are not as friendly. Um, that's just the way it is. Yeah, that's the way it is. Oh, so before I forget, um, if you guys, I'm not really a big fan of this. I just like to interact with the audience. I like to um, really just get people to see the real me in real time. But if you guys want to show your support, what's going on, Austin? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Um, if you guys want to support me, I have a Linkit tree down in the description below. It has my Cash App, Patreon. I also got my life story T-shirts. If you guys want to get one of those and grab one of those, whatever. If you guys want to show your support, I appreciate it. I'm just saying you don't have to, but it's there if you guys choose to show your support. So it's optional. Uh, and as of right now, I'm actually cooking some French fries. I had a the reason I brought up the support thing because I was reading through the comments of my recent live stream, and one of the commenters asked me about my Cash App. So I'm like, oh wow. So he wants to support me. Wow. Okay. So what I did is I have a linkage tree. It has all of my links. It has links to my gaming t-shirts. I got gaming t-shirts. I also have a linkage tree to um, um, Fiverr. So if you guys have family photos that need to be brought back to life, that are old, that are from the 60s or whatever, I can bring your photos back to life. It only costs $5. And then if I get more sales, then in the future I'll probably up the price. But um, I can take your photos, your older photos, I can bring them back to life, put color into them, in 4K resolution. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, it's also going to be in the link tree down below the description, along with some other support links that I have as well. So um, the other link, I think it's for. Before I go any further, let me know if you guys can hear me. Like, put a one in the chat or say, "Hey, I can hear you," or whatever. If you, for those of you, because we got 9 people watching, but if you guys can hear me, um, please leave say something in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me because I have an Apple dongle that is connected to my iPhone along with my Astro gaming headset. This is actually a gaming headset that I use when I'm live streaming on my other channel. Hey there, Susan. What's going on? You guys, let me know if you can hear me. Just type a one in the chat or say, "Hey, I can hear you," or something, just so that I know that you guys can hear me. I got this so that I can kind of talk to you guys up close while I'm actually cooking. As of right now, let me see. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I don't want to talk too loud because, I have a roommate that's next door and the landlord's been telling me that they've been receiving some complaints in the past about me being too loud. So so I was just making sure if you guys can. I was trying to fix it to where you guys can hear me clearly. So I do have a Nintendo Switch 2 headset, but as you can see, it only has like this little plug right here. So with these right here are Astro gaming headsets, so they have a USB. So I have a Apple dongle uh, that is connected to my phone, and it's letting me. And I was like, you know what? Let me see if this works. It's always good to explore, right? Oh man. So I don't know what I'm gonna name the stream. I just name it like YouTube or whatever. And in spite of me going through hardships, I'm living and I'm currently looking for a job right now while I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel and other uh, commissions that I'm actually dealing with so I can kind of get out of the rat race and start making my own money and living, life on my own terms. But um, as I'm currently looking for like something part-time that I can do that'll make me some extra money on the side, while I'm actually getting money from, you know, commissions and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's the job market is pretty tough out there. There are a lot of job opportunities, but as to rather than that, if these companies want to hire you, that's different things. But yeah. I got an interview tomorrow at noon, so I'm gonna be out and about, probably go live on my way home. So, uh, hey, Jana, Lily, Jana. Hey, welcome to the stream. Hey, Susie, and hey guys, welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for showing love, coming in and showing your let's see, add a Q&A sticker. Eh, there's a Q&A sticker that popped up. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe something YouTube is doing. I'm not sure. Maybe there's something YouTube is doing. So how you guys doing today? Mm, sorry about that. Let me get a drink of water right quick. I got Fiji water. Some people say it's rich people's water, but I don't think I don't know why they say that. Maybe they just a stereotype. They're stereotyping what type of water bottles that people can get. Because I mean, anybody can buy Fiji water, but some people just got it in their heads that only rich people can get these type of waters, which is kind of ironic to me, actually. All right, let's go ahead and charge this up. I'm gonna let the grease kind of warm itself up a little bit. Um, let's see. I'm out of I'm out of seasoned salt. So I'll probably just go ahead and use, yeah, I threw away all of the salt that I had. So I'll probably just go ahead and use this. Alright, let me see. Hey, what's going on? Oh, that's the recent comment. Um, sorry guys. Let's see. Alright. So, where are you guys from? Where are you guys watching me from? Are you guys in the States? Are you guys in another country? I like to know where you guys are watching me from. And how you liking the stream so far? You got any questions about America or about me with all the videos and shorts you've seen? Ask me anything in the comments below. Let me know um, what you guys wanna talk about. I'm here, all ears. I'm here and I'm all ears. Actually, speaking of here and all ears, let me check something right quick. I think I had some. Yeah, I got everything is frozen in here. Everything. I got some rice in here. I don't have that much food in here to eat, other than what I did have at first. Yeah, when you guys come in, just let me know where you're from and where you're watching me from, and let me know what uh I like to know a little bit about my audience. I'm trying to move this. Hold on for a second, guys. Give me 1 second here. Uh, well, while we're waiting for more people to get in, this is something I normally, something different that I normally talk about, and I think that a lot of people need to know what's going on when it comes to. Uh, Sorry, I have to fix my bed. Uh, quick. Uh, I got this rinky-dink bed that I sleep in every night, and for some reason, when I'm sitting at the edge of the bed, it feels like the mattress are being turned over or something, you know. Wish I had something bigger, but so um besides that, I'm doing pretty good. I've been going through a lot in my life lately, and yeah, going through so much. And my reason for starting a YouTube channel, I wanted to share my experiences with everybody that are looking or searching on YouTube to see, hey, I wonder if anybody's going through similar to what I'm going through. And so it will give them some motivation to know that they're not alone. And what I'm going through right now, other people can see and be like, hey, I'm going through the same thing. Um, so a little short story about me. Okay, so currently I'm in the state of Alaska living in a roommate with four people and landlord included. Um, how I ended up here is I took an 18, 19-hour flight to get here for a job opportunity that I signed up for. Before all of that, I was homeless for 6 years, living in my car. I was living in a hotel, but for the rest of the years, I was living in my car. Um, Ran out of money to pay for a hotel. This was in a whole nother state. I was living in the state of Alabama, and I contacted my mom, told her my situation. So she, paid me for me to come to see her in California and stayed there. Then she insisted that I go. I didn't even want to go to Africa. All I cared about was getting myself on my own 2 feet so I can start living my life. But she wanted me to go to Africa, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. So she paid for that. I got a flight to go to Africa, and then I came back. Um, After I came back, and it was a 18, 19-hour flight approximately from Kilimanjaro, Africa, all the way to the state of Alaska, right? So I got off at the Anchorage airport. One of my uncle's oldest son came to pick me up to, show me around. He showed me the different buses and how they operate, all that stuff. So I ended up staying with them for about a little over 3 months, maybe four. And during the time, my mother contacted me and told me basically that I need to start looking for another place to stay because my uncle was trying to kick me out of the house. So I'm like, wait a minute, he's kicking me out of the house? What for? So basically, um, my uncle spoke to me and he kind of just came up with some things like, give me 1 second. He came up with some things like, oh God, I really don't like these rugs. I really don't like these rugs, to be honest. I didn't mean to get off topic. Trying to, it's just hard to manage these rugs sometimes. Anyway, so so basically, um, uh, he was telling me how I was a bad example to his kids, and I was eating up all of his food, even though I bought my own food to eat. And I wasn't a bad influence on his kids. His kids were already rebellious when I got there. They didn't want to do what their father was telling them to do. Long story short, I got kicked out of my uncle's house because he accused me of things that I didn't do. Said I was talking about everybody in the house when they were talking about their daughter. The daughter was like the talk of the year. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so going forward, fast forward, my mother was helping me find a place to stay here in Alaska because I'm thinking to myself, okay, so my uncle is telling me that I have until July to leave his house, right? And I'm like, so basically, he's kicking me out on the streets. I have no money to get back, and I'm stuck in a whole nother state. I don't know people here. I don't have any friends here. The only reason I came up here was to make money, was to work a job and to make money. And I ended up here in this place. And the landlord wasn't very nice at all. She's a very toxic person. Um, she had these unrealistic rules and demands, which was really ridiculous. I had other roommates told me that she was a liar and a scammer, and I'm thinking, whoa, well, that's crazy. So I ended up moving in with this landlord lady, and I ended up having to work for her because at the time I was employed at my security job, working for Securitas. But I was working a seasonal job. I was working at the cruise ship terminal, and um, certainly after that, I was looking for work somewhere else because the job I was working at, my supervisor waited almost a whole month just to find me some places to work. So I'm like, well, I can't just sit here and wait for them to find me some work. So what I did is I started looking for something else to make up for the income that I wasn't making at the post that I was assigned to because I was working. I paid so much money to show up at my job security post that I was making more money from it. And my supervisor wasn't really helping me in any stretch of imagination. She was always giving people hours. Other security guards was complaining about it too. And I'm just thinking, man, that's crazy. I had one security guard say I made over $2,000 and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, wow, you're making that much money, and I wish I made that much money. So it just felt like she was showing favoritism towards certain individuals that work there, right? So during that time, I met the landlord at a local grocery store, and she bought her dog out, and she brought her dog out, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, hold on for 1 second, guys. And she brought her dog out, right? And I'm thinking maybe she brought the dog out to get some fresh air or whatever. She brought the dog out because she wanted to see if I was a drunk or, well, the thing is what Alaska is, they have an issue with people that are drinking and on drugs and they do things like that irresponsibly here. I guess that's probably why they say like the crime rate is pretty high here because of the drugs and everything else here. So I got into the landlord's truck because I didn't have a car or nothing like that because I lost my car back in the state of Alabama. The reason I lost that car was I was working as a security guard there. Um, I was working as a security guard there at a local hotel. It was peaceful, it was nice, and I was getting off from work. It was Friday. It was a really cloudy, rainy day, and all of a sudden I got hit by another car. It was a red pickup truck. And I didn't see who hit me. And one of the insurance ladies that actually witnessed the accident told me that it was a hit and run accident. So I only had like $8,000 down payment on the car, right? It was a Toyota Camry. I talk about it in one of my long form videos. It is a silver Toyota Camry. I really loved that car. It was a decent car. I really enjoy it. But it was a Toyota Camry silver, a 2017 model. The other car that I had before that, I actually liked that car than I did with the 2017 model. It was this model was a 2014 model, right? And what happened was I was working at Lear Corporation. For those of you that don't know what Lear Corporation is, it is a factory job. It is an automotive seating company. What we do there is we build seats. We use a fixture, we build seats on a frame, we put the frame on a fixture, we build the seats on it. And I was working there for 3 years. It is a third party Mercedes company, a factory job. I worked there for 3 years building seats. I was also a quality inspector. I was doing good. I was really making some good money, and I lost my job because somebody accused me of making threats to another coworker at work, which was ridiculous. Anyway, so man, I'm losing my train of thought. Where was I? Let me see. Was working at Lear for 3 years. I had it. Okay. All right. I know where I'm at now. All right. So basically, uh, as I was driving, I was putting on music. I was also in school full time, you know, uh, for a bachelor's degree program. Yeah, I can't talk today for a bachelor's degree program. However, I wasn't able to get my bachelor's degree because money was low in financial aid, so I had no choice but to withdraw. And at the time, it was so expensive I couldn't afford it. So, um, and I was getting more money back from financial aid, so I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to do it. So, I was doing everything I can to stay awake, and I kept dozing off, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta fight. So I ended up bumping into a 18 wheeler truck, right? And I think I took out one of his tires, and I landed in a ditch, right? So there across the gate. There were these church guys, people from coming out of the church, and they jumped. One of the guy jumped over the fence, wanted to know if I was okay. I grabbed all my food and other stuff that I needed. So the Toyota 2014 Toyota Camry was uh, totaled out, so they couldn't, and I was able to make the payments on it, right? So anyway, so back to the whole situation. So I said that to say that like I kind of lost that car. So that's the reason I went into that story. So anyway, I'm staying with the landlord, and the landlord was like, "Well, you can work for me until you can pay off your rent for next month," because it was like I think it was August. Yeah, that my assignment ended because like I said, what I was doing, I was working at a cruise ship terminal, and it ended like in I heard it was in sometime in August, right? So I worked for her, helped her with stuff. I helped her with her money deposit, all of that stuff. At that point, it just felt like she was using, because I told her about, my story. Basically, I was going through a lot to get here, and my uncle kicked me out on the streets. I have nowhere else to go, and I told her about all of that, so that because realize now that you got a lot of people who pretend, who they are, and you got crazy people out here in Alaska. So I told her that, um, to just get her to understand a little bit about me and my situation and what I'm going through. And she took that and she used that as a way, as a weakness to try to weaponize it against me to of throwing me out on the streets if I didn't do this, this, and that, right? So as I was going through with it, I was looking for jobs other places. For those of you that don't know, I don't suggest you moving to Alaska unless if you have family here or you truly have connections here because the jobs here are very limited. People are very nitpicky of who they want to hire, and it's tiring and it's exhausting. Um, so just kind of let you guys know. The only jobs I could get here was security jobs, which I don't want to do security anymore considering what happened uh, with the theater situation. If you guys want to know more about that, check out my long form video uh, talking about the whole theater situation. I did another one just to kind of clear explain what was going on because when I did the previous video, I was just upset at the fact that they just fired me for crap I didn't do. Anyway, let me see. Looks like these are ready. So anyway, um, so I was working for the landlord. You know, I didn't do much, but just help her out with. Um, I helped her out with She was with her money orders. Went in there, got certain stuff that she needed, and she was like, so I sent her screenshots to see, hey, is this something that you want? She was like, I don't know, it's whatever you want. And I'm like, well, I get it, but this is your money and I don't want to mess this up, right? So I bought stuff that she needed, did everything she asked for me to do, right? Uh, One particular day, she took me into the internet company to tell me to go pay her internet bill, right? And instead of sending somebody in there to show me how things are done, because I've never paid for somebody's internet bill before, right? And by the way she was making me do things, she wasn't really thinking things through. So, um, for the most part, sorry about that, guys. I had thought I heard some knocking on the door. Anyway, so for the most part, uh she came back. Her son came in and helped me out with it. They didn't really teach me like show me like okay how you do this or this is how you do it. Nothing. They just told me, oh, well, just pay half of this amount, and then that's it. I'm just like, so I'm just going in there blindly. So I called to ask questions because I didn't want to mess up her money and everything else. So if you don't understand something, you call and you get clarification. You ask questions. So she just, out of nowhere, she just assumed that I was starting issues with somebody, and then I came out. Another driver hit her truck because she drives a truck, right? So I'm up there, and she looks at me, telling me that I'm on her pissed off list, so to speak, right? So I'm like, what did I do? And so then she went to drop her son off because apparently, he had a something happened to his arm at work, and he had to go take a few days off to kind of lay low for a while or something. I don't know, but at least that's what I was told. And so from that point, um, certainly after that, called me she called me a f up. Yeah, she called me a fuck up. Excuse my language, but this is the landlord's mouth, not mine, right? And I'm thinking, excuse me? So at that point, I would have gotten really upset and kind of just like, hey, you don't talk to me like that. I'm actually working for you. I'm doing my best. I don't know how to pay your internet bill. You should have known that up front instead of calling somebody else's child a fuck up. You don't do that. She was very disrespectful, right? And she was like, oh, I could see why you can't keep a job and blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, even though I told her that I worked in factory jobs for a total of 5 years, because I worked at Amazon for 2 years, I worked at Lear Corporation, which is for Mercedes, for 3 years. So if you add the years together, that's total of 5 years I've worked for both companies combined, right? And so at this point, when she made a statement like that, it it gave me the motivation that I needed. Because when I dealt with situations like that, I use it as motivation and fuel to be able to. And those of you that watch Dragon Ball Z, that's where I got that. That's where I got that from. And I use that to get to really find somewhere else to work. Um, so anyway, so as time went on, um, she um, I was helping her out with the rooms because we went to Target, right? We went to Target and I was helping her out with the rooms and stuff, right? You know, because she needed items and stuff. When we went to Home Depot, she needed some wood for the fence. So she just needed a whole lot of stuff, right? And so she before she basically we went in and we went to go get some pillows and stuff that she needed, right? And she she basically like and this is the landlord. For the sake of this story, we're gonna call her Sarah, okay? All right, so Sarah, she basically was in the store. I was in the store. I was looking all over for her. I even texted her, said, "Hey, what store aisle are you at?" She says, "I'm in the lamps area." You know, I'm like, "Okay, let me fill this area out." Hadn't been in this area before. It was just like she was just treating me like a dog. Like working, trying to work for her was not a good experience at all. Um, it was just crazy. Like she was crazy. And I said to myself, I never work for her again. Like that was just crazy because so basically, when I finally found her at Target, right? Now keep in mind, before I go in through this story, I took a 18-hour flight all the way from Kilimanjaro, Africa, all the way over to Alaska for a job opportunity that I didn't get. It was a correction officer job and pays pretty well. They give off a $5,000 sign-on bonus, and they give along with some other benefits. So I followed the landlord Sarah to the snack area in Target, right? Now, mind you, I'm there working for her, helping her get stuff she needs because is running. She has like 8 rooms in her house, and we have like they got like she has like 8 roommates staying here, right? And she took 2 bags of Lay's potato chips, right? I think this the healthier ones, and she put them into the basket, right? So then she took 1 bag of chips and she ate it. She opened it up in the store and ate chips around the store that she didn't pay for. And I'm just sitting here like, really? She was looking at me. I'm looking at her like, okay, if you want me to work for you, you can't be doing stuff like that because I can get arrested of them thinking that I'm your accomplice, and I'm not your accomplice. I didn't come all the way here so you can do some stupid stuff like that, right? So then we got to the checkout. She started embarrassing me in front of everybody because she was paying like these different people to come in to fix the house up because she's trying to sell it. And that's another thing she said too. When I first moved here in June last year, she was talking about selling the house. I'm thinking, I just moved all the way up here and you're just now telling me that you're selling the house? That's crazy. So then she started complaining to me about she has a female worker that puts wooden trim around the walls and different rooms, right? I don't really see the point because I'm pretty sure that the people that buy this house can probably do it themselves if they got the money to do it, right? However, um, she she just basically like was like, now I gotta pay this much money, and you didn't even let her put this down, that down. And when we talked about it, she made it seem like an optional thing, instead of like, hey, we're gonna have to get this done. So, what would be a good time? And I said, okay, well, this time will be a good time. Okay, so we're gonna have her come in on this day, and we can do it. I'm like, okay, cool, right? So it was just not a good experience at all. So I finally got a call for uh, a job working at Wendy's. I worked there for a bit. Things didn't. I was juggling two jobs. Um, my security job didn't call me for like 30 days for a new position, and then they turned around and they fired me. So if you guys work for Securitas in Alaska or planning on doing it, don't, because they clearly don't have any work. You can tell them your availability, but it's like they're not very communicative, and it's a shady contract here in Alaska because like Securitas Security, I told this lady or supervisor, whoever she is, I told her about my availability, and they had me waiting for like almost a whole month of January this year just to find work. But then I'm hearing security guards from other places are saying, "Hey, we need a guard here, we need a guard there, or there's a place up there and they need." But then she's saying that she don't have any work, and I'm just like, how is it? So it seems like they don't have no work at all. The only work they have is the malls here in Alaska, Anchorage, and the theater, and they also have they call it the Neptune, which is working at the cruise ship terminal for Whittier and Seward. Those are the only work places that they have, right? And until I found out, because the I went to the office, I had to go. Alaska, they do like this dividend fund here. So I went up there to make sure my application was all set to go and everything. And I saw a security guard there, and I'm like, hey, I didn't think they had a security guard here. They got other places, but they're not letting me work in those places for whatever God-given reason. Which brings me to my next story, right? You guys comment down below if you actually enjoy these stories. Most of these stories I actually talk about in my videos, my long form videos. Uh, Now in YouTube Shorts, it's kind of like bits and pieces, but if you guys want to hear the full story, um, it's gonna be in my long form video. So, um, so working for the company was not a good experience for me, and it was. I mean, I can't speak for Securitas in other states, but for the purpose of being here, it's a shady company here, and a lot of these contractors, um, because a lot of these contractors they don't really make sure that most of their guards are prepared with anything, and they don't communicate. Now, like I said, I can't speak for other states, but it's crazy here in Alaska, right? So basically, they fired me from, because they claimed that they tried to contact me and they couldn't get a hold of me. And I'm like, well, my number hasn't changed, and so so they ended up firing me, right? Because their excuse was they couldn't get a hold of me. So then I'm like, okay, so you guys couldn't get a hold of me. That's kind of weird. So then the manager called me back, decided to rehire me back, and when he rehired me back, I ended up waiting once again a whole nother. Well, she had me working. They had me working at the Fifth Avenue Mall here in Alaska, right? Everything was going great. Things were going pretty good. But then I ended up getting removed from the site because there was a clerk that um, reported me and accused me of harassing her during the workplace when I didn't do such a thing. Like I'm doing my rounds, they call it. We have this duty phone that we have, and they call us and say, "Hey, we got like a couple of individuals at our store. We need you to come over here and check it out, whatever." And it was just some kids that was just looking through stuff. They didn't even look like the type of person that would steal anything, right? But here in Alaska, like people are very prejudiced here when it comes to jobs like this. Like they'll just call you out of nowhere, say, "Hey, we need your help." We can't really describe. We can't like they're not even trying to help help us, help them. It's like we just need your help. You just got to come over here and figure it out. And that was the stressful part of working at the mall. It's like they'll tell you everything that's going on, but they don't give you like what the person is wearing because we have to radio, hey, we got a POI that's he's wearing I was told that he's wearing this and that. I try to get people to text on the cell phone because it'll make it easier for me to put the description down. A lot of people wouldn't even do that. It was just really like making my job. They're just really just making my job difficult, right? And the other guard didn't want the cell phone for various of reasons. Like he said something about a situation that happened to him with the fire alarm or whatever. I don't know, but it kind of felt like he was making an excuse because he didn't want the duty phone for a reason. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'll just have it. So, I ended up going there to explain what happened, and I'm just like, wow, I've never gotten reported at a mall before. So it was just something wrong with her. Like um, it was store manager at Zoomies. She likes to. I heard other recent complaints about her too, how she uh likes to report people whenever she feels a certain type of way or whatever. And so she lied in the report saying stuff like she asked me to leave the store, which that was a lie because she never asked me to leave the store because I wasn't going in there on a regular day basis like that. I was just doing my job, right? So they ended up removing me from the site, and I got placed working at the theater. Now, when I was working, as I was working at the theater, if my cause I was like, hey, I should work there, cause when I worked there a few times, the people seem pretty chill. They seem pretty nice, whatever the case may be. How wrong I was. So, so I officially started working there permanently, and what happened is basically, sorry about that, guy. Excuse me for a minute. So basically, I ended up getting reported by a teenage girl, and just stating like she's the head manager of the theater told me, "Hey, well, you need to stay away from this person because she reported me saying that you kept trying to talk to her and you kept, bothering her during, working hours, and she feels uncomfortable." But then when I finally got reported, it went from her saying that to me to, "Oh, you were following a girl around," to, "Oh, okay, you sexually harassed this teenage girl." And that wasn't true because I didn't do that, right? I was doing my job like I was supposed to. And Then when it got to HR, that's kind of when they just wrote it off as, oh, you just sexual harassed, so we have to fire you. We don't allow that. That's kind of against our policies. And I told them, well, I didn't do it. But then when I mentioned to her about having, um, she also mentioned about me recording. And I'm like, well, the only reason I recorded was because I needed to have some proof to show, hey, this is what I did. This is the proof of all the days that I worked, right? But apparently you still can't do that. So that put me on an unfair advantage because it's like, okay, if the policies state that you can't record during working hours, right, to cover yourself, because I spoke to every manager, they kind of just didn't really care about it. They just kind of like shrugged their shoulders and just, whatever, they just didn't really care, right? So I'm just like, wow, okay, so not any of these managers has my back at at all, period. And that's the thing on these jobs, like, you know, not saying that I was doing this, but the moral of this is don't don't think that these people have your back on these jobs. Because they will go against you. Don't put your trust on these jobs. Do not break your back for these jobs. You can be with a company for 19 years to 30 years, and they can still find reasons to get rid of you. And this is why I stress enough. Um, in the past, I tell people to start their own business, rather if it's a YouTube channel, rather if it's, s- you know, selling, drop shipping, whatever y'all or whatever skill y'all have, because the job market is really crumbling and jobs are starting to get less and less and less and less, more and more nitpicky on who they want to work and who they don't. They can just say, hey, we already found somebody that meet up to our expectations and the requirements that we need, right? So, um, so I was a little bit upset about that, and I'm just like, really? So there's like, well, because she's a minor, you know, we still have to kind of like look at it as sexual harassment. And I said, well, I get that, but as well as it's like I can just sit there and tell them, hey, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Meanwhile, a company can tell you not only what I did in their side of the story, but they can pull up camera footages of what they want you to see or whatever behind the closed doors. And I'm thinking like, but I don't really have any proof that I did this or I did that. All I can sit there and explain to you how it goes. Like it's just an unfair advantage in my point of view. And see, this is the reason why I do these type of live streams and videos because I want people to understand that you're not the only one that's going through this, you know, and you're not alone. So if people come across my videos, at least they can understand like, okay, I remember going through this. Oh, you know what? I agree with him. Yeah, because I remember this and that happened to me. So that's why I make this channel. The reason I started a YouTube channel because I needed a space where I can talk about my issues and talk about my situations because in today's society you can't talk to anybody. You can't trust anybody with what you tell them because people will broadcast your situation to other people behind your back, and when you talk to them about stuff that's going on or just needing somebody to talk to. In this day society in 2026, you can't really connect. You can't really talk to people anymore. It's hard to make friends in this day and age. It's hard to make connections, rather if you're looking for a job or whatever, because when you talk to people nowadays, it's like all you are saying, all you're talking is a bunch of noise. You're nothing but a bunch of noise to them. And people tell you, oh, well, you should go get therapy. And I'm just like, well, therapists don't really care about your problems either. They just throw random solutions in your face. You're paying them 500 to probably $1,200 just so that you can sit there and so that you can talk to them about situations that they don't really care about your situation. They're just there to get paid, right? So talking to a therapist about your situation, that's just a waste of time because you're talking to a really a stranger, you know, at this point. They're not going to help you with your situation. They're just helping you because they're getting paid to do it, not because they genuinely want to help people, you know? So pretty much, that's pretty much my story of how I ended up here in Alaska. And I've been trying to move out of Alaska. I've been trying to save up as much money as I can. But right now, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Ever since I lost my job working at the theater, um, I don't really have any money to even if I did find a job today, which hopefully Monday, I can probably get some income coming in from my other commissions. But to be honest with you guys, like I had to reschedule my interview that I had today because I didn't have the money to get there. You know, I don't have the money to get there. So I don't want to go somewhere because I'm already don't know my way around in Alaska because all I do is work, go to the grocery store, catch the bus to a known popular place, and that's it. But it's like I don't want to end up somewhere and get stuck. That means I got to walk all the way for like an hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes all the way back to where I came from. That's a lot. Now, I don't mind the exercise, but at the same time, like, that's crazy, you know? Especially the type of weather we have here in Alaska is it's no joke out here, right? And I have cramps in my legs and because of all this walking I've done, I ain't had the time to rest up, you know. I'm resting up now, but you know, but at a certain point I start having a cramp. But yeah, um that's pretty much a little bit of me and how I ended up here in case if you guys want to check it out. Like I said, it's in my long form videos as well. And this is actually pretty nice. I didn't even think my headset, this headset, I didn't think it really worked with, you know, being it that, maybe it won't work with my cell phone. I do have my other headset, but a lot of people in my past, previous stream that couldn't hear me clearly. They could hear me, but it sounds like I'm like I don't know, like under the sheets or talking with my mouth full or underwater or something like that. I don't know. It was kind of a blurry. Uh, it was very blurry. So I was like, okay, um, check this out. So I just made some French fries. See, these are. Hold on, let me wash my hands first. Let's see here. So yeah, that's pretty much how my story ended up. So and that's kind of where I'm at right now. So anyways, um, that's it for this stream. Do appreciate you guys for joining in. Be back with another stream really soon, probably sometime later on this evening while everybody else is still awake. I just didn't want to start a stream while everybody was sleeping, or eavesdropping or whatever they're doing, because I have a creepy landlord and she likes to eavesdrop and listening to what other people are saying and you know she telling me, "Hey, I heard you talking about this, and you're talking about having, why is it in Richmond?" And she kind of got off that subject real quick, and I'm just like, seems like you heard more than just that, But she's a creepy. Um, so basically, I was on a phone with a friend, and we were just talking about relationships, And that's another thing that Sarah likes to do is she likes to hook people up with certain individuals, right? I even told her I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just trying to get back on my feet again and live my life in peace. But it's like talking to her, it's like talking to a person that's just like, oh, that's just all noise. He just really wants somebody, and I'm just like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Um, but yeah, um, she was talking about like she had some girl for me. I think she thinks that she's Iranian. I don't even know. And I was like, okay, well that's cool. You know, she was like, yeah, there's good people here. Now here's the thing, because I've been talking about the dating scene since 2018, right? Because I knew it was gonna get this bad. I knew it. You know, everybody else like, hey man, this chick did this and this guy tried to do this, and I'm like, well, I knew it was gonna get this bad. Now, I'm not an expert. I just know based on what I've seen and other people's stories and what they told me. Um, but I can say this, like, the thing is with relationships, you know, when you're linking up with somebody, it's almost like trying to do a job search, you know. If you don't, if they look at your resume and your work history, and if you're don't check off any of the box of their criteria of what expectations they're looking for, they're just gonna reject you. That's how it is with the dating scene. Like if you're not checking off the box of a female's unrealistic expectations, then you're just not considered somebody that they're looking for. Um, the thing is with relationships in America is that a lot of women get with the wrong people, with the wrong dudes, you know, and the way the landlord looks at it is, oh, as long as he got money, I don't really care, you know, but it's like at the same time, it doesn't matter if he's got money or not. Like if he's not treating you right, then you know, it is what it is. It's like you can't just expect him to, you know. And if you're in a relationship and you're just or married or whatever the case is, and you're just in survival mode, that's not a good way to live your life. Living in survival mode is not good. And what's going on today is a lot of parents in today's society are not teaching their daughters of how to carry themselves as a female should, like females in other countries. And most of them are rebellious and they just do whatever they want to do. And so now we have this society now where you talk to a chick, she thinking that you're going to attack her. Now we living in days now that everybody's on their phones 24/7. Nobody communicates with each other anymore, like back in the old days. And the reason why relationships are failing because a lot of people don't really know how to date. They mistaken dating as relationship, but dating and relationships are two different things. And it starts at home. You know, you have to train a child in a way that he or she should go because then they can live for a lifetime. But if they're not, if the parents are not teaching these kids anything, like when I was here in Alaska, I was in the city of Eagle River. I was at the grocery store, right, just lounging around, and I was told by a teenager, it was a teenage kid. He said, "Hey, you're the first black person that I've ever seen in Alaska." I'm not making this up. God is my witness. I'm not making this up. And I'm like, you know what? If I actually talked about this, I don't think anybody's gonna believe me if I said this. Oh, but yeah, parents are not teaching their daughters anything. And then, you know, they keep getting with the wrong guys. And then when you have a good guy that's genuine that really actually wants to build and wants to be in a relationship, those guys get turned down because of their past and their trauma with the last relationship they've been in. Some of them get with these guys in a relationship and they make the genuine guy pay for the sins and the damages that the other guy did to her. It's just it's crazy. Like the dating scene is crazy here. Like if you look at the dating sites now, people don't take proper dating photos anymore. They take photos with their puppy dogs. They take photos using filters, tattoos all over them, everything like who and nose rings. And I'm not judging people that they're into that kind of stuff, but it's like you're marketing yourself in the dating world, just like you're marketing yourself when you're in an interview. And if you want a guy to be interested in you, you got to m- meet the demands of what the men are asking for. And now the system is now training these women to keep the population less and less and less, you know, which is why a lot of guys are moving to other countries because they can get a better woman than the women here in the US. They just the divorce rate is too high, and you know, men just feel like it's just so much pressure on the guy to have certain amounts of money, and it's just too much pressure. He has to pay for everything, he has to do this, he got to do that. That's too much pressure, and I don't think a lot of guys want to go through that. I myself don't want to go through that, you know, because my thing is, it's like they're making it all about themselves, right? Instead of working together, you know, especially in this day economy. A lot of these women, they got unrealistic expectations. They want a guy that's 6, 7, 8 feet tall. They want a guy who's making 26 to 55 plus a year. They want a guy I mean, in this economy that we live in today, where are you going to find a guy that's like that? And what makes you think that he wants to deal with you? You know? And it's becoming, in Alaska, it's becoming a trending thing for females to get with 7, 8, 10 feet tall guys. You know, it's like whatever other females are after, that's where that female will go after as well. It's a trending thing here. It's a trending preference that every girl seem to have here, right? But anyway, I'd say, if this is you, and if this is reaching out to you, and if I'm speaking to you right now when it comes to that situation, I suggest go to another country to go find a girl. Now, here's the downside. You can't bring her back to the States. The reason I say that is because they will get corrupted. It doesn't matter if came up from a good upbringing. It doesn't matter where they came from. If they come here to America, they will get modernized. They will start acting and picking up some of the ways that most of these American toxic girls act, right? The ones that don't have both parents in their lives, the ones that their mothers are not teaching them the way a lady's supposed to act. So that's just something to keep in mind of when you're, uh, you know, whatever. But now, with the whole YouTube thing, because I did title it, so might as well touch on it. As I'm touching on it, I'm gonna sit down here. Hold on for a second. Let me move this down a little bit. Okay, so with the whole YouTube thing, okay, um, now my thing is, hold on for a second, guys. I think I messed up. Okay, let me pull this down. So my thing is with the whole YouTube thing, um, you know, I persi personally, um, I don't. Hold on for a second. Uh, yeah, this is starting to act up. All right, let me know. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. If you guys can hear me, I'm gonna move this down a little bit so you guys can hear me. Okay, so basically, hold on, somebody sent me a message. Okay, that. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so what's going on is YouTube is the biggest platform on social media, way bigger than TikTok, even though TikTok and YouTube are in competition with each other. Um, so by that logic, there are so many people that are trying to make money on YouTube, and the only reason they're doing YouTube because they want to get monetized and make money off of it. Realizing that that's not easy to do, right? I've been on YouTube back in, I started, I've been on YouTube for like 8 years, and I have never had a monetized YouTube channel. And the only reason for that is because, I wasn't consistent, which I should have been consistent back in those days where it was really easy because I would have had subscribers and I would have been already making some money, right? So, thinking back on it now and looking back on it, you know, I'm actually glad I started when I can after hearing all the changes that are happening on YouTube. So, the thing is with YouTube is that there are so many YouTube growing channels on YouTube. There are so many YouTube channels of so many different people telling you several different ways of how to make money until eventually you start feeling like you're just going down the rabbit after going so far down the rabbit hole, you start to feel like so confused. You don't even know where to go, what to do, how to do this, what to do that. What if what I'm doing is not working? If I'm going to change it up, how am I going to do that? Right? And the only thing is like it has been harder than ever to grow on YouTube than it has ever been before. And the reason it's really difficult is because there's so many people doing YouTube automation, which YouTube automation now is starting to get really old because people want to see authentic content. So all of the other content, some people say that with a saturated niche or a niche or a niche, however, whatever people call it, it's getting to the point where there's now saying that you have to stand out in order to be known or to be recognized, right? And it ain't so much that you got to stand out, you know. It's just the fact that you have to not give up. And I know there's a lot of people that say this on YouTube. I mean, I've doom scrolled the entire YouTube platform, even looking for ways to make money, even looking for ways to get myself out of the rat race so that I can have some money and I don't have to depend on nobody else or a job. Because when you're working a job, you're not building your future, you're building the future of somebody else's company. and they can get rid of you whenever they see fit. This is actually pretty good. You guys should try some of this. This is French fries, oval shape. It's really good. You know, put some seasoned salt on it. You put some pepper. It's really good. Now you can use flour meal too. Flour meal is really good. My grandmother used to make these. Most of my cooking habits I learned from my grandmother. She passed away last year in September. I miss my grandmother already. I miss her cooking, everything. Anyway, so back with the YouTube situation. So a lot of people have given up trying to do YouTube. And it's not because they're not good at doing content. It's not that they're not being consistent in most cases. It's just the simple fact that a lot of people are they see that a lot of YouTubers have this expensive equipment. They got an expensive software. They have like a desk, computer, and all of this setup, a YouTube studio setup. I don't have a YouTube setup. I'm just sitting in my room talking with my headset. And a lot of YouTubers think that they need that in order to grow. But then you also got people that are saying that, but they're telling you so many different ways that you can grow on YouTube if you want to keep people watching. There are so many people that sell courses. Now, there's nothing wrong with people selling courses, but when you're selling a course and it costs an arm and a leg, that's crazy to me, you know. And half of the courses they sell, and that's another issue too that I have, because they give you free stuff, and the free stuff they don't really tell you nothing, because the real secrets is they use an AI, which is nothing wrong with using AI. It's just that you have to be um, make sure that you mark the yes or no where it says altered content. If you put no, then you're telling YouTube that this is not AI. But if you make an AI videos, you know, doing voiceovers and stuff like that, you want to set it to yes. Okay. So that's where YouTube had that in place, is for that. A lot of people say, "Oh, there's people posting AI slop. People's channels are getting taken down. People doing this," and it may be true. It may be true, but then again, it may not be true. The thing is with YouTube is a lot of the YouTube gurus um, that are out there, you know, YouTubers like Making Money Matt, um, Shane Humas, and other YouTubers. They're not teaching you how to grow on YouTube. They are, but what they're doing is they are putting a twist on it. They're sitting there and they're listening to, they're telling you, it's like this. I'm gonna show you an example. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, I'm telling you, let's say you want to start a gaming channel, right? You know that a lot of the gamers that make content, when they stream, they basically interact with the audience, right? Now, and all I was telling you to do is you have to stick with one game. And if you play that one game long enough, if you play that game long enough, that basically you'll start to see growth. However, with the courses that I'm selling that cost us an arm and a leg, I'm telling you behind the scenes that you only need to play games that you're interested in. But you have to have a niche of what games that you can play. Like if you want to play MMO or RPG or role playing games or racing car games, you have to stick with racing car games or games there's in correlation to that. But if you're really serious about, they won't tell you that part, but they'll say, hey, if you really want to grow and if you're really serious about YouTube, you'll buy into my course. But then the downside with these courses is the results is not guaranteed because if you're selling a course to teach people how to grow on YouTube, there's no guarantee that the results that had worked for you that it's going to work for the other person because you got to remember YouTube now YouTube is being they got it fixed to where Google Gemini is actually running YouTube now. So YouTube is being ran by AI. And since YouTube is being ran by AI, you can't fool you cannot fool AI because AI will know, okay, this is kind of similar to this content. So a lot of YouTubers sell courses that is like $10,000, $6,000. I was on the phone with one of because they have a team that they built, right? And I was on the phone with one of Shane Hamas team members. They go around. Okay, before I go into that, um, here's how these channels are doing it now. The way they're doing it is they are what most of the YouTubers are doing. You go into their course link. They have an email that shows, okay, give your email. They got these questions that they'll ask you basically about you to know a little bit about you. And then after that, then they say, hey, we're gonna have somebody that to reach we're gonna have an agent to reach after you as soon as we can, right? So the agent calls you. He discuss you and the agent of whatever the team of the former creator. They go over like what your goals is for YouTube and what are you trying to do, and they talk to you a little bit about that, right? So then they get into how much money you're gonna pay. You gotta pay, cause that's what happened when I was on the phone with one of the YouTuber Shane Hamas. Like he said, well, you got to pay $6,000. $6,000, and I'm thinking to myself, like, in this crazy economy that we live in today, what makes you think I got that type of money to offer up front? And a lot of these YouTube gurus that sell courses like this, they they basically they don't even talk to you about payment installments. They don't talk to you about any of that. Oh, they say, oh, you got to pay me $6,000 up front, or we can give you some free stuff in a text message and email. And most of the free stuff is not really that much help, right? Most of the free stuff that they talk about, everybody's already doing it. And people, and it's working for them, but it ain't working for you. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Give it. Give me a second, guys. Shit. I'm about to die over here. And so so that's the way they're doing it. But now a lot of YouTube gurus are doing it like this now. So what they're doing, since they know that nobody's going to buy in their courses, since they know that nobody is going to spend $6,000 on a course because the way the economy is now. So what they're doing is they're trying to take certain sections and make it free. Whereas they keep the most valuable stuff that help them grow on YouTube, which is not going to really help anybody else anyway. They're keeping that, having people pay for that. So what they did is they released their courses down to like $900, $400. And then you got some of them that are offered a 400 and almost $500 free AI software that doesn't really, they try to get it to look like Mr. Beast. Everybody on YouTube is talking about Mr. Beast. I don't really I don't really get it, you know. But you know, but the crazy thing is, I don't know if they were doing the same thing when PewDiePie was popular, but they're doing that with Mr. Beast, right? Everybody talks about him. Everybody's trying to get their same field content to look just like his. But what they fail to realize is it doesn't work for everybody. And the real actual way, um, or whatever they use to grow on YouTube, they're not going to show you that part. So just keep a lookout. I'd say um, don't buy into these courses. I mean, if you're going to get coaching, there's nothing wrong with getting coaching, but um, there are some places where you can get coaching and it costs cheaper. $50, 50% cheaper. Um, but the rest of these YouTube gurus out here, they're selling a product that's very expensive, and most of them say that the reason for that is because their products, because other subscribers will say, "Hey, you should increase it. You should increase it." I'm like, "Yeah, but you increase it, but then you got a lot of people that sell these products. They're telling people, oh, if you're really serious about XYZ, then you'll do this." But the thing is, it's like, okay, so what if they're not? Rather, if they're serious about it, rather they're not. That doesn't mean, I mean, what about the people that can't afford it? Does that mean that they're not serious about growing on YouTube? As a result of that, um, stay away from YouTube gurus. Okay, stay away from them. If they're teaching you how to grow on YouTube, stay away from them because the thing is, it's gonna confuse you even more. So I'm gonna help you out. Now, as I said before, I had a comment ask me about what my Cash App was, right? And I know most YouTubers want support. I support is nice. If you guys want to support, my link, Cash App, Patreon is in the link tree below this video. You guys can check it out. Now I'm not saying you guys need to show your support. The only thing I ask is just have an audience, people who can interact, um, and everything. But if you guys don't want to, for whatever reason, if you guys don't want to support, you don't have to. It's there if you want to. So it's an optional thing. I'm not trying to ask money from nobody. you know, Support is nice, but at the same time, I don't want y'all to think that I'm asking you for money. Okay? I just put the link there just in case y'all want to support. I got a My Life Story t-shirt, same logo as my YouTube channel, so, I'm thinking about getting myself one. I'm thinking of giving myself one. So, so like for the most part, for the most part, um, it's too dark in here. I'm gonna take this. Uh, Let me see some right quick. Hmm. Well, I mean, but all I'm saying is that a lot of YouTubers are not going to tell you how they grow on YouTube. The courses that they sell is pretty much no different than what they're telling you on their YouTube channel. Right? It's pretty much no different. And even if the result worked for them, that doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, no matter how much you pay into these courses. Keep your money in your pocket. Stop paying these YouTube gurus thousands and thousands of dollars. Because, in all honesty, you already got so much content that are out there that's teaching you how to grow on YouTube and the things you don't do and don't do, right? Why should you pay into their course to learn more about that? When you have Chat GPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, everything. All right, so I'm gonna help you guys out because based on my experience of thinking that, okay, I'm posting, but I'm not getting nothing from this, right? So I'm gonna help you guys out. Now, um, I'm pretty sure majority of you know how to upload a video and you know how to do those things where you upload a video, start a YouTube channel, create a channel, start a new account. What I can tell you is if you do, it's through Google, okay? Because YouTube is doing partnership with Google now. So you have to have a YouTube channel that is through Google itself. Now, when it comes to posting content, a lot of people will just say, just post. Now, what I would say is be consistent. If you're working a job or you're in school, you can just choose like whatever day that you want to post, right? Like, let's say you work, you're off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? But you working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can choose to post a video for Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday you can go live, and then from there, do it all over again. You know, you can do it that way. Just set up a schedule for yourself. Don't just try to post it all for the long haul. Don't do that because you'll burn yourself out like that. And what I'm getting at is your health because your health is important. You don't want to burn out trying to make money on YouTube. Uh, Looks like this light kind of went out. Let's see about this one. Okay. Now, after you built your YouTube channel and, well, you created a fresh new account, now you need an avatar and a banner. Now, to be honest with you, you really don't need a banner. That's optional. There are other YouTube channels that don't do banners and they still get monetized on YouTube. So, you can just, but if you want to do that, you can. So, the softwares that I use when doing thumbnails and other stuff, right, is I use Canva. Canva is totally free. I mean, there are some paid options in there somewhere, but it's totally free. So you can use Canva. You can also use uh um there's another website that's called Clipchamp. It's a Microsoft it's a Microsoft software that you can use when making shorts and TikTok long reels, but we're talking about YouTube. So you can make YouTube reels. And if you want, you can go to Leonardo.ai and you can find like an avatar that you can use. So different options you can use. You can even ask ChatGPT to create an avatar, or if you got an avatar in mind that you find over the internet, you can customize it and make it your own. Okay? AI can do all of that for you. So once you got your banner and your avatar ready, now you got the description. So you can use ChatGPT. I personally suggest that you use Google Gemini since the whole platform is ran by Google Gemini anyway. That's what I use anyway. And you can get it to, you want to get it to write out a description to help YouTube algorithm to understand what your YouTube channel is about. Okay? Now, once you do that, there's a default setting, but you have to go to uh, I think you have to go to YouTube Studio, and there's a gear button on the left bottom side of the screen, and then you go there, and then you click on it, and it takes you to this page where you have to make sure that you verify your account, make it illegible, right? And you have to verify your YouTube channel account with your phone number. And the only way to do that, and the reason you have to do that is because just to make sure that it's secure, right? And the reason you have to do that is because if you do that and you secure, hold on for a second, if I can find that on here. Um, let's see, let's see, let me go to my channel. I think I'm actually live right now. I need to post um, I need to post uh, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. But once you start doing that, you're gonna make sure that your YouTube channel is verified. And once you make sure your channel is verified, that gives you the option to do thumbnails, longer YouTube shorts. You can actually go live, but you only can go live if you have 50 subscribers. 50 or more subscribers. Now, you can also go live on OBS, Streamlabs, if you don't want to wait until you get 50 subscribers. Now, a lot of people say that subscribers don't matter, your views don't matter. Uh, to a certain extent, they're right, but also, um, they're kind of wrong. You see, to get monetized on YouTube and to make money on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you also have to have uh, 4,000 watch hours. So you have to get people to watch your content without, hey there, welcome to the chat, welcome to the live stream. You're just talking about, oh, well, that person left. Oh, well. I'm pretty sure the right subscribers and the right people will come along. But anyway, so just like I said, you know, um, a lot of people are just giving up on YouTube because you have YouTube gurus that are out there selling, regurgitating YouTube growing talking points, and they just it just kind of got so confusing to them to they're like, you know what? There's no point in me starting a YouTube channel, right? So I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm just not going to keep, because a lot of people do that, you know, and I can't seriously blame them because, you know, they're out here scamming people out of so much money just to learn how to grow on YouTube, you know. But you don't need to pay nobody to learn how to grow on YouTube. You know, post your content, pick a niche, you know, of like what I mean by a niche, like do you want to do gaming? Do you want to do peoples and vlogs, which means like what I'm doing right now, I'm sitting here talking about random stuff that's going on in life and YouTube and just other stuff. Or you want to talk about or teach people how to do something that's going to help them or whatever that you want to do, right? You want to do money making channel, uh, cooking channel, gardening channels. There's channels where I've seen a guy that had 260, he built a house out of 260 pallets, wooden pallets. I done seen channels where you got a guy that's being filmed to build houses out of mud and bricks and sticks, you know. And I'm just thinking to myself like this is amazing. So it's a lot of things you could do. But you want to put your own style into it though. You don't want to try to, and here's the number one thing you don't want to do. Don't try to, uh, for lack of a better phrase, don't try to, don't compare yourself with other YouTubers. Don't let other YouTubers persuade you into thinking, okay, you got to do it this way because this way is the way that you're going to grow. Okay? Because that's what YouTube gurus are doing. They're making sure that you do not grow on YouTube because they don't want to deal with the competition. So the easiest way to deal with the competition is for them to sell courses, do animation videos, and all of this other stuff with AI. And they want to convince you that doing YouTube you can do YouTube, but basically you got to do YouTube the way we tell you to do YouTube so that you don't grow and so that you don't get to where you want to be. Because if you do that, then you're competing against us and it's messing us up, right? But I'm here to tell you guys that there's no right or wrong way to start a YouTube channel. There's no right or wrong way of what videos that you should put up. What I can say is you know, I started out doing YouTube shorts, okay? And then out of curiosity, I realized, okay, let me see if I can the live button. I didn't think they could do live on a mobile phone. So I got on the I got on the mobile phone and I'm just like, wow, I'm actually live. Oh, but yeah. So just a lot of these YouTube growing channels are just noise at this point, and it's very disencouraging to even want to grow. I was encouraged at one time. There was one time that I wanted to just give up on YouTube altogether But I had to remind myself that the reason I started a YouTube channel in the first place, is to be able to talk about some of the things that's happening in my life. It was a place where I can go and I can talk about anything because in this day and age, you can't really talk to people anymore. You can't connect with people anymore. You know, people are always glued to their phones. They have their earbuds on. They keep, you talk to them, you're considered a weirdo, a creep, a stalker. It's just all kinds of things that you have to go through. So, um, just don't give up on YouTube if you still want to grow. There's no right or wrong way to grow on YouTube anymore. Everything is changing on YouTube. You got the YouTube gurus, they are working so hard to keep people going astray and not knowing, okay, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? You know, you're looking up videos on how to help you to do something, and then you got to go through the intro, you got to go through the all of this crap just to get them to get to the point of the video of what they want to do. They just do all of this different all these intros and all this other stuff, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's it's okay if you have like a lot of subscribers, but even with the ones that got a lot of subscribers, especially the ones that have like 1.43 million, 2.43 million or more, they only got like maybe 80% out of all of those subscribers that actually tune in, that actually listen to them, you know? All I'm saying is just focus on you and focus on just getting better with your content. You love doing content, go live whenever you get the subscribers. Just really do what you have to do and just ignore all the noise that is in YouTube. Because I know some of the thumbnails can really like stand out to you, like, oh, this one seems great. Just know that a lot of YouTube gurus are doing everything they can to make money themselves while giving you less and less information that they can to help you make money on YouTube. You know, and this is coming from a guy that was homeless for 6 years. This is coming from a guy that's been thrown out by my uncle on the streets. This is coming from a guy who's living in a place dealing with a crazy landlord and some roommates here. This is coming from a guy who been through it all. I've been on YouTube for 8 years and have never had a monetized YouTube channel. And all of the advice and all of the regurgitating YouTube growing talking points has not helped because it only works for them. It don't work for everybody else. But they have to keep putting on this facade that it works because they're trying to get more money. I tried drop shipping. I tried it all. It didn't work. Well, it didn't work for me. You know, there are times I did try to change it up a little bit, but you also got to be careful with that too. Because if you go live and you're like this bubbly, high spirited person 24/7, then the audience, when you go live, they're going to expect you to be, you know, they're going to expect you to be that same person every time you go live. What they're gonna know you as. So you wanna attract a certain crowd that kind of knows you, for you. Just go and just be yourself and be you, you know. Don't try to compare yourself with other people and just ignore the YouTube gurus because they're literally not teaching you how to grow on YouTube. What they're doing is they're teaching you the same talking points that every other YouTuber talks about. And they know it doesn't work for everybody else, but they do it for clicks and views, you know. It doesn't work for everybody else. And they know that, but they'll continue to do it because they're trying to make more money out of people. And there's nothing wrong with making money, but when you're taking advantage of people just to do it, that's kind of that's not good. Not good at all. And right now, I've spent money on courses, you know. There's times that I spent money on courses, thought that okay, maybe if I spend money on this, this will help me. Turns out I was wrong. It didn't help me out one bit. All I was doing is wasting money for nothing. I was just wasting money for nothing. And I don't want you guys to make that same mistake that I have made. Alright, I'm gonna change the thumbnail of this current live stream that I'm in because I don't like it. And I want it to change. Wait, what is going on? Who is messaging me? Oh, she put a thumbs up. Okay. So I'm just telling you guys because I want to help you guys out. And let me see here if I can get some working. Give me 1 second, guys. Because a lot of times with these jobs, so there's a lot of changes going on with YouTube. They got the AI is taking over now and it's getting rid of so many channels. It's crazy. You know, I've never had it happen to me, but I'm just saying it's it's crazy. And now they're pushing out YouTube shorts. But it's like, how do you expect to make more money doing long form videos, but then they're pushing out YouTube shorts, and most of the people that watch YouTube shorts are not going to watch your long form videos or your live stream. I mean, I've gotten people that come and go. Some people stop in and show some love, and I'm just satisfied. I'm happy. I'm grateful that I actually have an audience that, even if it was just a little while, I'm glad that they showed up and, uh, said hello, how you doing? And, I'm pretty sure most of them had to go somewhere. And so I'm just happy for the little audience that I do have. They may not stay long, but, at least they showed me some love. So I'm grateful, you know, even if there's nobody watching. And this is the thing about growing a YouTube channel. You're going to have audience that are going to come and go. Okay? A lot of people get frustrated because they trying to get monetized. They trying to grow so quickly. You have to start a YouTube channel even when nobody's watching. Even when you have audience that come and go, they leave and they come and go. You have to because right now you're building. You're actually building something, you know. And and this is kind of the part that people do give up, but you can't give up. I know everybody wants to make money on YouTube. When you get monetized, it's it's nice. It's real nice. Let's see. Hold on for a second. Sorry about that, guys. Excuse me. So you have to, like I said before, you gotta, you gotta keep posting. You gotta keep doing what you gotta do. Because if you don't do this, then at the same time, if you give up, then you're almost at the finish line. And that's what I have to remind myself every day is don't give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm actually on my computer here. And as you guys can see, I'm actually trying to do some here. Okay, let me put this right here for now. And let me see. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do this. You just want to do whatever you can. Get rid of that. Okay. Is that and just keep all of that there. Okay. All right. So then we have journey, YouTube changes. Um. So yeah, I think we should get. I think I should just go ahead and start with that, and maybe just put shorts behind it, since this is going to be. Um, and then there is. All right. You guys give me one measly second. I don't even know why I even put that there. Okay, so just trying to get everything set up here because when I run the live stream, um, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of that. That's not helping. All right. Regard the changes. Okay, changes saved. Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, all right. Yeah, I got 3 likes, 26. Got 26 that watch this channel. This is great. This is really cool. All right, so I need to get up and I need to do something here with the pull this down a little bit. All right. Okay. Anyway, um, sorry about that. I had to had to put up my plate and stuff, and I am currently talking to you guys on my cell phone. Um, Now I don't know. I tried to. What I tried to do is I tried to like flip the phone over so it can be horizontally, but for some reason it only does it if I'm vertical. So, um, I guess that's part of one of the new updates for YouTube. I'm not really sure, but this is like some of the topics. This is like a little bit different from what I actually talk about because I usually just talk about stuff that's going on in my life and the hardships and everything that I've been going through. Um, but at the same time, people are trying to grow on YouTube, and it's becoming an issue now because people are starting to try to make money because everybody wants to get out of the rat race. Everybody wants to grow on YouTube and get out of these jobs. You know, they want to have some income coming in every month, doing what they love to do. Do videos, talk about your problems and stuff like that. You got people that are saying that, oh, YouTube is on easy mode. YouTube was never on easy mode. YouTube has always been on hard mode. And I know this because I've been on YouTube for since I don't know if you want to say it's 8 years. Now that I think about it, I've been on YouTube since 2007. And I've tried everything and still have not had a monetized YouTube channel. I started with a gaming channel. That didn't work. Tried everything. Switching it up, you know. And some of the videos that I've had, I don't really think, honestly, I don't think, honestly, like, I don't know. You guys comment down below. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know where you guys talking to me and where you guys from. I love to hear from you guys, but there's just a lot of people that want to grow on YouTube, and it's really frustrating because you can't get people to, obviously stay and watch obviously to stay and watch your, I'm kind of getting tired, but stay and watch your videos, you know. It's quite unsettling, you know, and it's not easy. It's very difficult. It is not easy beyond any of your stretch of imagination. It's not. Speaking of it not being easy, I'm thinking about drinking some tea. And I hadn't drunk any tea in a while, and I'm considering it. I am considering it, but who knows? Well, um, I don't really know what else to talk about. Is stay away from YouTube gurus, stay away from these YouTube growing channels because they're not really helping you and teaching you how to grow on YouTube, especially organically. And if they do, you have to pay them to teach you. But then, you got people that don't have the money. Okay, then that means they can't get the help that they need, you know. So if you see something and it doesn't matter how convincing it sounds, don't buy into it because I guarantee you if if you do, and some people offer services that cost $17 and they say, "Oh, it's free for you for a lifetime." Don't believe that. Don't believe that. It's not true. Anyway, guys, it's getting kind of late. Um, thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate that. And you guys want to support me, the link will be in my story post. I don't think people read those anymore, but I have a story post and also in the comment in the description of this video, I also have a linkage. So when you click on the link, there's a bunch of links to from my different merch stores and different other places, right? So Um, I also have my Patreon in there. I'm a comic book artist as well, so you're gonna probably see some artworks and stuff that I've done. And then I also got my Cash App in there and other stuff. Now, you guys can support me directly. I would rather you guys to support me through my merch stores, so you can get something out of you know out of it. Get a T-shirt or something. Um, I'm just trying to put my product out there. Anyway, uh, thanks to Austin, Susan, and Lily, Jana. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you guys. I know that you guys can't stay long. Thanks for the ones that's coming in and going. I'm about to close the stream, but I will be back with another stream later on. It's kind of getting late. I'm staying with roommates, and I can't do long streams for that long. So, you guys take care of yourselves and try to save up your money. Try to do what you can to stay afloat because right now we're living in times right now that if you don't have a job or if you're struggling from paycheck to paycheck, nobody in this world is going to help you. Just know that nobody's going to help you with anything, you know, because we're living in a world now that help is scarce in 2026. This is my life story. This is chaos. And, and let me show you one thing. I actually got before I close out this stream, I actually I got this in the mail from my college. It's I don't know if I showed it in the last stream. Let me see if I can turn it this way. Okay, turn it this way. And shoot. So this is my uh this is not my associate's degree. This is actually my this is from DeVry University, as you guys can see that there. This is a uh information technology and networking essentials with honors. So basically, this is like an undergraduate certificate. Okay. Now, I don't really see what I can do with this. There's nothing that, but I'm gonna tell you guys like this right here. This is like, this is nothing, and this is my name too. My name down there. I just call myself Chaos because my life has been very chaotic since I've been homeless for 6 years, and along with some other crazy stuff going on. Anyway, guys, I'm getting ready to get off. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back. I will be back with more content.